Hello everyone. Let's start the lesson on two oral communication skills, agreeing and disagreeing. We will begin by describing the communicative context and purpose for agreeing and disagreeing, and then move on to the strategies. We will check what we have learned at the end. Let's start with the communicative context and purpose. Agreeing and disagreeing are common language functions used in conversation or discussion to respond to an opinion or idea with a similar or an opposing view. Noted that in most English-speaking cultures, silence is often not understood as agreement. So, how do we show agreement? One way is to use intensifiers such as absolutely and completely to show that we strongly agree, as shown in the example. Of course, we can also agree less strongly by simply using a non-intensified expression, such as you are right in the example. Now, let's look at several common strategies for disagreeing. The first strategies on the left are more polite because they are less direct. In contrast, the three strategies on the right are less polite because they are more direct. Let's first go through more polite strategies for disagreeing. The first strategy is using hesitation words or sounds, such as, well, I don't know, before the opposing view, as the example shows. The second strategy is using partial agreement with but. The strategy is also understood as disagreeing agreeably, as the example shows. The third strategy is using speculations such as it seems that, perhaps, or maybe, often after but, as shown in this example. Next, we can also disagree politely by shifting responsibility. That is, we do not claim the complete ownership of the opposing view. Instead, we shift the responsibility of disagreeing to other people, as shown in the example. Now, let's look at less polite strategies for disagreeing. The first strategy is to use a question to express an objection, which often follows an opposing view, as the example shows. The second strategy is using direct disagreement. Note that although we don't have to explain why we disagree, providing a reason may help ease the hearer's negative feeling of being directly opposed to. Finally, we can disagree strongly by using direct disagreement with intensifiers. Note that an intensified disagreement is most likely to upset the hearer, even if a reason is provided, because it creates the strongest tone of disagreement and therefore the least polite. Now let's practice what we have learned. For practice 1, please complete the conversation with a strong agreement. We can use intensifiers like absolutely to agree strongly. For practice 2, please complete the conversation by disagreeing politely with partial agreement. As the answer shows, we express partial agreement before but and state the opposing view afterwards. Now, let's check what we have learned. Quiz 1. Please check the adverbs that can be used to show strong agreement. There are absolutely, totally, and exactly. Probably and likely are speculations rather than intensifiers. Quiz 2. Please choose the more polite expressions of disagreement. The first and third expressions are more polite because they are less direct. Now, let's review what we have learned. These are two strategies for agreeing. Note that silence is often not understood as agreement. If we agree, we must say so. And these are common strategies for disagreeing. Let's keep in mind that it's always better to be more polite in communication. Thanks for joining us for the lesson. This online course is funded by the Ministry of Education.